Anything can happen on any given Friday in Region 3.
It's intercepted! A pick taken away that time and into the end zone for the leading touchdown!
The Lone Peak Knights, without their starting quarterback, found a way to upset undefeated and third-ranked American Fork.
If they can do that every game and we can put up a couple points, we're going to win ball games.
Now the Knights face an even bigger challenge, the defending 6A state champions.
After American Fork losing, it gives me a lot of energy to get back out there and dominate them.
Skyridge is 7-0 and loaded with talent, including quarterback Jackson Stevens, who leads the state in touchdown passes and is second in passing yards.
Stevens looks, throws for Burke, caught, touchdown!
Mix in the rivalry between the schools separated by just 5 miles, and you've got a compelling matchup with a lot on the line.
It adds a lot of fuel.
These close games are kind of the ones you want to pride yourself on and win because it gives you the bragging rights.
Skyridge and Lone Peak, our Game Night Live Game of the Week. Let's go.
A KSL Sports presentation. Game Night Live kicks off now. Sponsored by UCCU.
Welcome to Lehigh, Utah. What a scene here. A beautiful night for high school football, and we've got a good one. The Skyridge Falcons versus the Lone Peak Knights. A battle in Region 3. Two teams that believe they are state championship contenders. Only one to walk away here with a win. I'm Jeremiah Jensen. Joining me in the booth tonight is KSL Sports executive producer Matthew Glade. He's covered high school football in the state for 15 years. He knows high school football in the state. He knows it well, and you know these two teams. They're both very good. One has a 7-0 record, one has 3-4, but don't be deceived. This is a great matchup tonight. Lone Peak's had a lot of issues they've had with injuries and such. We'll get to that in a minute, but let's start with Skyridge. They're just a juggernaut again. Reload, rearm. They're another, again, they were the 6A defending state champs. Yep. They look good this year, and you start with their quarterback, Jackson Stevens.
Absolutely, and most quarterbacks would love to have just one weapon. This guy's got weapons all over the field, yet he has go-to receivers everywhere. He has 4 guys that have 20 catches or more. He leads the state in touchdown passes. Yeah. He has 4 guys that have over 5 touchdown passes apiece. Of course, they're all led by Trevin McClellan, his #1 target, but they have been absolutely decimating teams, and they've been unstoppable. But they are going strength against strength tonight with Lone Peak's defense.
Yeah, and Lone Peak's defense has been phenomenal this year. There's been injuries on the offensive side. In fact, they're on their 3rd quarterback tonight. Luke Christensen, a junior, will be the starting quarterback for Lone Peak tonight. So they've had to deal with injuries on the offensive side. That defense has had to carry them, and that defense has been phenomenal.
They've been amazing. I mean, just a few weeks ago, we saw that American Fork team absolutely destroy Lehigh.
Yes.
Last week, they held them to 14 points.
Wow.
They had 3 takeaways. They lead not the state, not the region. They lead the country in interceptions.
Wow.
They have 19 of them in takeaways. So this is the team. If anybody's going to have a chance at stopping this Skyridge team, I think it's this defense.
Yeah, in this region, there's no question about that. Lone Peak has, as I said, dealt with a lot of injuries and such. Let's learn more about the Lone Peak Knights down in the end zone. Mariluz Cook standing by with more.
Last year, Lone Peak had a 7-5 record and made it to the 6A quarterfinals. Entering into this matchup, they have a 3-4 record and are coming off of the great momentum of an upset over the American Fork Cavemen. Entering into this matchup, they're bringing in that momentum, certainly, but into the rest of the season and beyond.
Lone Peak's a contender every year. We do it this year. We can do it this year. We've done it in years past. Lone Peak and the culture around us, we know how to win. And Coach Brockbank and Coach Denny and Coach Trowbridge, they all from day one tell us that this is a winning team and that we're going to go compete with teams all around the state.
I think it gives us pretty good confidence. I mean, I think that's one thing that we've kind of gone up and down with this year is our confidence. We've been, had some injuries and a few things like that I think we've lacked a little bit of confidence to finish games. We really struggled with that this year. Last week we finally finished a game and it felt pretty good.
We beat AF, we can go beat Skyridge. That's what we're thinking.
Seems that confidence is certainly setting in for Lone Peak, and they're bringing it into this matchup and hoping to be state title contenders as well. They're also bringing in an extra layer of revenge as they fell to Skyridge last season by just 1 point in their matchup last year. So know that they're going to be bringing that in as well. Back to you guys.
Mariluz, thank you. The Skyridge Falcons just took the field. Last year's game was unbelievable. Lone Peak had a 30-10 lead in the fourth quarter, and Skyridge rallied to win with 21 fourth quarter points. We expect another battle here tonight. And now the Lone Peak Knights have taken the field, and we are just moments away from this Region 3 matchup between Skyridge and Lone Peak, two rivals. You saw the interviews earlier. This is intense. Both of these teams know how important this game is. The crowd here knows how important this game is. Matt, it's a great, perfect setting for high school football here as we wrap up September.
It is, and Jer, Lone Peak was not shy when we talked to him earlier this week, talking about last year's game and the revenge factor coming into it. So this is a team, even with a 3-4 record, where their confidence, you would think they were the undefeated team.
Right.
They have such a culture of winning down there, and the coaching staff does such a good job of keeping the players focused from week to week. And I'm really excited to see, hopefully the offense, despite a third-string quarterback, will be able to move the ball a little bit, because this defense is going to put them in positions to win this ball game throughout the night. We'll see if they can hold up, and we'll see if the offense can take advantage of it.
You know, Lone Peak's a team that just could have caved in their locker room after that Pleasant Grove loss. They lost a game on a pick six, and then the next week they turn around and beat undefeated American Fork with a pick six in the fourth quarter. So they're a resilient group, great coaching staff. They have a great tradition of winning, but of course, so does Skyridge.
So does Skyridge, yes.
And they've been the most recent winners. In fact, these are the last two 6A state champions. Lone Peak won it 2 years ago. Skyridge won it last season. These teams and these schools know how to win. Here we go. We are underway between Skyridge and Lone Peak. A fumble catch on the return. That's not good for Skyridge. They're not going to get out to the 20-yard line. A little trouble there on special teams to get things started. But Skyridge will have the ball first, so we'll get our first look at Jackson Stevens. You mentioned it coming in. His stats are impressive. 28 touchdown passes. We're in weeks. That's through 7 weeks. We know what he's averaging 4 touchdowns a game.
68% completion percentage.
That's the more impressive stat. If you're around 70%, you're a very effective and efficient quarterback.
Only 5 picks for as much as they throw the ball.
First play is a run for Skyridge. Carter Sheffield, the senior running back, with the carry.
And we've talked a lot about the passing offense, but Sheffield's been fantastic this season, too. He has 11 rushing touchdowns on the season.
Wow.
Over 700 yards rushing. So they're not afraid to play the ground and pound. They don't exclusively go to the air.
Well, you do ground and pound, too, if you looked at that offensive line. We'll talk more about them here in a moment. They got some big dudes up front. Stevens with his first pass of the game. Into tight coverage. It is incomplete, broken up. Nice play by that Lone Peak defense that you spoke so highly of, and they're showing it right there. There's not going to be many open windows for Stevens tonight. He's going to have to throw it in some tight windows if they're going to move the ball effectively.
No, watching Lone Peak this season, they've done a really good job of getting pressure with 4. They're not afraid to send a few blitzers, but they do an excellent job of getting pressure with 4 and dropping 7 into coverage.
Looks like they're bringing a blitz here. Stevens gets rid of it. The catch is made right at the marker. I think he's got enough.
Complete to number 14, Jack Burt.
That's Jack Burt with the catch. Jack Burt, the senior receiver, number 14. Moves the chains. That's a Skyridge first down.
One of those guys Stevens likes to look to throughout the game.
A lot of seniors on this offense. You'll hear from Trevin McClellan and Trent Call as well as the evening continues. Quick throw outside. Ooh, you better get on that. That could have been a live ball there if it was backwards. We don't know for sure, but he did the right thing by getting on top of it.
Considered complete.
And
It'll be a loss of 6 yards.
It is.
Second down.
It's how they play. That's how the officials mark that, so they're going to mark them back. all the way back to the 22-yard line.
This defense doesn't have any problems taking the ball away. You don't need to give them any easy ones.
No. So that makes it second and about 17. Pressure backs off. Stevens plenty of time. Catches, oh, it's dropped. Broken up. Bot Mulatalo.
Pass intended for number 1, Trent Call, broken up by 9. Junior Tahi brings up.
That's actually down. Junior Tahi, the middle linebacker, that broke that up. Well, I'm sure we'll hear from Bot Mulatalo later, but that was
again, Skyridge
that was Junior Tahi, the middle linebacker, breaking up that pass intended for Trent Call.
Yeah, tried to go underneath, but
if you want to spread out and enjoy the game from that view.
So 3rd and long, 3rd and 16 from the 22. Actually, 3rd and 17 from the 22. The scoreboard is a yard short. Play clock down to 10. Bringing pressure. They hold up. Now Stevens has got to escape the pocket. Looking downfield. Incomplete. That pass was intended for number 14, Jack Burke.
Yeah, just a little high. They flushed Stevens out of the pocket. Normally he's pretty accurate on the run, but just missed his receiver barely on that one.
Stevens showing some mobility. Just a little too high.
A little high.
We have your ID.
So Skyridge forced the punt.
I wonder how many times Skyridge punter has actually punted this season.
And to dust off his leg tonight.
He might hit He might hit double digits by the end of the year.
Lone Peak will have the ball in Skyridge territory at the 42-yard line. Tackle made by number 14, Jack Burke.
So here comes the Lone Peak offense, and as I mentioned, they got a new quarterback tonight. Jackson Blake is injured. He's their starter at the start of the season, and then Isaac Staley has been playing since, and now Staley's out. And tonight, Luke Christensen gets his shot at quarterback. And his first pass is caught.
Yeah,
Sean Mayberry.
Not exactly the team you want to go up with for your first start of the season.
No.
You know, we've talked a lot about Lone Peak's defense, but Skyridge's defense has been just as good. They have 29 sacks so far through the year. They really get after the quarterback. They're very aggressive in their 3-4 scheme. They like to send a lot of guys, play a lot of man.
Lone Peak's got a lot of guys in the receiver position on this play. Now he brings one of those guys back in, Trey Robinson, and we've got that aggressive defense. Lone Peak caught him a little too antsy.
A little too aggressive on that one.
Offsides on the defense. Gives 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and short.
So that'll help Lone Peak. Now looking at a 2nd down and just 1 yard to go. They are in Skyridge territory, as they were when they started this drive. But now they're nearing the 30-yard line. Trey Robinson comes back in the backfield. Now Christensen's going to run, trying to get to that marker. That was a lot of running for 1 yard, but I think he's got it. Maybe he's inches short.
I think they're going to mark him just a little bit short, but you're right. You could see that team speed of Skyridge closing in. It looked like he had it pretty easily, but they strung him out wide. He wasn't able to get there.
Wow. That's a lot of speed out there. Christensen is no slouch. He's also fast. He plays receiver when he's not playing quarterback. So impressive stop there. It's 3rd and 1. Now Robinson in motion. Christensen's going to throw. The heat comes. Takes a shot deep. Almost got him, but just a little too much. Robinson, Trey Robinson, the intended receiver, got one hand on it, couldn't get two, and now it's 4th down and 1. Will Lone Peak go for it, which they look to be, or will they kick it?
I think you need to.
Christensen's still on the field.
Yeah, they did a really good job of holding that safety in the middle of the field. He had a step on him, just a little too far. But yeah, I think in this situation you have to go for it. just with the questions at offense, you don't know how often you're going to be down in this area.
It's go territory unless you got a great field goal kicker. So Christensen in a pistol formation, not happening. That was shut down. Number 47 broke in there. That's Kopo Malufau. Tackle for loss, and Skyridge takes over on downs.
I mean, it's just what we were talking about. Super aggressive. They make plays in the backfield. I mean, they have 60 tackles for loss as a team already. I still think it was the right decision to go for it right there. But, man, that Skyridge defense, they closed.
Tip your cap to Kopo. He read it the whole way, got in the backfield, and ends that drive. Yeah, missed opportunity for Lone Peak. Let's see what Skyridge can do. Stevens with a quick pass. The catch is made. He breaks free. That's a first down or more. That's Burke. Jack Burke with another catch.
All these receivers are so good when they get the ball in their hand. Doesn't matter if you're catching them in stride. Doesn't matter if you're running a little curl just like that. They're great at making defenders miss. They're able to get that yak, what every receiver wants. Big reason why Stevens' numbers are so good right there.
Heat comes, Stevens. It's picked up. He's got time. Over the middle, threw it behind the receiver. It's incomplete.
Stevens pass intended for number 6, Trevin McClellan.
That was Trevin McClellan. That's number 2, actually. Let's go number 2. That's Colby Smith, another senior receiver. They are loaded with senior receivers on this group. Yeah. We'll see them all tonight. 2nd and 10 from the 48. Now Stevens will look for a new play. Trips to his left. Sheffield in the backfield.
Got Burke isolated up top. There's not really a safety over there. I wonder if they'll...
Quick little bubble to Trent Call. He's tackled, but not before. He picks up about 6 yards, maybe 7.
Just those
They'll mark him at the 42-yard line.
Skyridge is so good at getting that ball out quick. They're very much a rhythm offense. Once they start going, it's hard to slow them down.
They've got a quarterback with a lot of varsity experience. Jackson Stevens transferred here from Davis High School, where he was a 2-year starter. Sheffield. Up the middle. Plenty of room. First down near the 30.
I think you or I could have ran through that hole right there. That offensive line cleared a path.
Let's not get crazy, man. Let's not get crazy.
I don't know if we can go 11 yards, but we could get through the hole.
I need to see a trainer afterwards.
They just washed that entire offensive line down. He had green grass for about 10 yards there.
It's a strong group led by Ben Howard, a junior, one of the top juniors in the state at left tackle. Stevens, plenty of time. Over the middle. Ooh, tight coverage there. And he's lucky that he didn't get his receiver lit up. Trent Call, the intended receiver. Former quarterback. He was the backup to McKay Hillstead last year and saw some time when Hillstead was injured.
Not an easy position taking over for a guy like McKay Hillstead.
No, it's not. And Trent can tell Jackson Stevens all about it. But Stevens has done a terrific job. And, you know, Stevens is he was this big when he was a sophomore at Davis. Big, strong quarterback. He's developing into a nice Division I prospect. Quick hitter again. This catch is made. Burke again. Jack Burke is busy tonight.
That RPO game working really well. But that's where that run game comes in. When you're able to have a big run pulled off like that from Sheffield, the defense is going to suck up a little bit more. The coverage is going to loosen up a little bit more, and you're going to get receptions like that.
Playing with tempo. Stevens hands it off. This time Sheffield past the 15 down to the 14-yard line. So they'll gain about 4 yards on first down.
Yeah, very methodical drive by Skyridge on this one. They're an offense that likes to use a lot of explosive plays, but they are just taking a little time off the clock. No rush. Chunk yards here and there.
They can obviously get explosive plays, but you look at a lot of their touchdowns. There are a lot of 1 yard, 2 yard touchdowns this season.
Yeah.
They'll take what the defense gives them. Stevens, screen pass. Catch is made. He'll walk into the end zone for the touchdown. Carter Sheffield, senior running back for 6.
They had the right play call on that one. And just like the song we're hearing in our headphones, yeah, you can't touch this. You can't. Caught him in the blitz with the screen pass.
Nice drive by Skyridge after getting stopped on the first drive. They carved through that Lone Peak defense, which is saying something. Extra point attempt is blocked.
And the PAT is
Matthias Nawahine, that's the third time he's blocked an extra point or a field goal this year. He's really good at that. It goes along with everything else in this team. Defense, special teams, they're good at it.
He is such a playmaker, but look at those big offensive linemen just get down the field. I mean, if you're a defensive back, you've got no chance.
No.
Getting off. Yeah, they brought 6, and they had the right play call on that one.
Let's give this group some love. Ben Howard, Luke Davies, Filimone Fangupo, Ami Fafita, Darius Afalava are their starting offensive linemen. And, Matt, I'm looking at this group, and I see 2025, 2025, 2025, 2024, and 2025. 4 of the 5 starters on offensive line are juniors, which means they will be back next year.
That's incredible.
That's scary. And they're going to be bigger and stronger and faster.
To have that kind of youth and continuity on your offensive line. Yeah.
Those are juniors in high school.
Juniors in high school. They look like they could start for the U today with their size.
It's an impressive group, and that's why this program is so successful, is because the game's won in the trenches, and and they're going to win 9 out of 10 matchups that they're going to face in the trenches when they have size like that. And it's probably more likely 10 of 10. It's been 7-0 this year.
Lining up the kick for the Falcons.
That was not an easy defensive line to do that against. That's one of the best defensive lines in the state, and they made them look pretty average on that drive.
Lone Peak will adjust. But Skyridge is first on the board. 6-0 with 6:09 left to play here in the first quarter. You're watching Game Night Live. Short kick, returnable kick. Trey Robinson, who took one to the house just 2 weeks ago. Not this time. He's wrapped up at about the 28-yard line. And that's where Lone Peak will start this drive. Not as good a field position as their first drive, but they'll take it at the 28.
We'll see if they're able to sustain a drive on this side of the field. What kind of offense they can get going.
Now, one of the toughest positions to be in is a backup quarterback, and you're not getting starter reps in training camp. You're not getting starter reps throughout the season. And then all of a sudden, you've got 1 week to prepare for the best team in the state. I mean, that's tough.
Yeah. Coming in cold.
Christensen will have to figure it out on the fly. Incomplete pass, almost intercepted. But it is incomplete.
Luke Christensen into the
they dropped 8, and I don't think he was expecting that.
Just missed his intended receiver, Trey Robinson. What I talk about is the continuity. You practice with these guys all year long, knowing who your guys are. I mean, he's been running receiver with these guys, not quarterback. It's
the chemistry that quarterbacks and receivers develop, you don't talk about it enough throughout the season.
It takes time. We'll try to figure it out on the fly here tonight. Christensen, another look. He's going to take a pass, and he's got a catch. No, it's dropped. Incomplete. Jaden Mayberry, the intended receiver.
Second down.
With an offense that's struggling, it's hard to give up those layups like that.
So tough spot now, 3rd and 10.
Looks like they're trying to give him a bunch of easy passes to try to establish some rhythm. Players just need to come down with the ball.
Pressure comes, gets rid of it. Incomplete. It was thrown high.
And the 3rd down play pass to
no flags. Pass was intended. for number 11, Seth Haskett. But Lone Peak's 3 and out. They have to punt.
I'm sure that defense isn't looking forward to getting back on the field after that quick 3 and out.
Not a lot of time to rest.
No.
Tavian Edwards is back to return the punt for Skyridge. Blocked! The punt is blocked. Skyridge gets to it. Ball is loose. And it'll be down right around the 40, right exactly at the 40-yard line. So it is blocked, but they do get a net of 11. Could have been a lot worse.
So not only do they go 3 and out, they get the punt blocked, and they give the ball back in Skyridge territory. Or in Lone Peak territory.
Cade Dowley's punt is blocked. And the Falcons have all the momentum right now. Great field position. A 6-0 lead with 5:38 to play first quarter. Lone Peak on their heels a little bit. Let's see how that defense responds here in a tough spot. Stevens on the RPO takes a shot deep. Intercepted. That's how you respond.
Pass intercepted by number
Jaden Mayberry.
Of the Knights.
I think that's number 10 on the season.
That is number 10. He had 2 last week against American Fork, and he's picking up right where he left off. He has a nose for the ball.
I don't know if Stevens didn't see him, but Stevens, you could tell he was excited. He saw his guy on the sideline, but don't think he saw Mayberry sitting there waiting right in the path. And huge play for Lone Peak. Mayberry has been terrific in the secondary all year long. You mentioned it, 10 interceptions. Wow.
I mean, he's the type of player now with your pre-snap read. Stevens might want to throw the other side of the field wherever he's lining up. He's the type of guy you want to avoid.
He's a ball magnet. All right, Christensen. He's in trouble. He's got to get rid of it, and he does.
Christensen's pass is incomplete. Pressure on the play by number 47, Coco Malafau.
2nd and 10.
The trench kid, number 47, defensive end, and middle linebacker.
Lone Peak taking their time. Tight formation here. Christensen and a pistol. It's going to hand off, and again, it's not happening. That play is going nowhere. It's number 5 on the tackle.
Met in the backyard.
That's Jackson Fenton with the stop. Jackson Fenton comes through unblocked.
It is 3rd down.
And swallows up Brooks Wild for the stop.
He leads the team in tackles for loss, playing that linebacker position. It's just the ease they're able to get into the backfield right now. Almost coming untouched.
So another tough spot for this Lone Peak defense, and the quarterback Christensen making his first start. 3rd and 12 from the 15. Throwing deep, takes a shot. Comes back to get it, and he can't. Pass was intended for Logan Hoffines. He can't make the catch, and it's another 3 and out for the Lone Peak offense.
Hoffines had a great adjustment to that play.
Mark Baird. It's 4th down.
Yeah, he located the ball, made his move, and the defender made a great job of making sure he didn't catch it, though. He got that hand in there at the last second.
Great coverage.
One good play by the receiver, but a better play by the defensive back.
So Lone Peak cannot take advantage of the interception, and they're going to have to punt again. It was blocked on the previous possession. This time he gets it off. Edwards back. He's got room to return it, but he runs into a sea of white shirts, and he's going nowhere. Great job on special teams.
Recovered at the 45-yard line by Tavian Edwards. Tackle made by 31.
Swarm to the ball. A little better starting position for that Lone Peak defense this time around.
Sean Tahi got there to make the tackle.
We'll see if Skyridge comes out running the ball after that interception or if they just go straight back to the air. I always think it's good for a quarterback if you come back out throwing the ball. Show your confidence in the kid.
Even if it's sending a message to the defense that you're not shaking, right?
Exactly.
Looks like we got a pause in play here. We're going to take a pause as well. Our first break here on Game Night Live. 6-0. Skyridge leads Lone Peak. We'll be right back.
If you want to avoid your AC breaking down this summer, the best thing you can do is stay on top of your AC's annual maintenance. But if you do find yourself with an air conditioner blowing hot air, Any Hour Services technicians service all brands, and they can usually get to you pretty quick. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. Whether you need maintenance, repair, or replacement, the technicians at Any Hour Services can help you keep your home comfortable all summer long. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
I love my new Blazer. It's cute and comfortable, very quiet, and drives really good in any weather condition. My experience buying it here at John Watson Chevrolet was super awesome. Everyone was really friendly. I didn't feel a ton of pressure, and they helped me get the exact Blazer that I wanted. Definitely a 5-star experience.
John Watson Chevrolet, your 5-star Chevy dealer.
I would give them 6 or 7 stars if I could.
Welcome back to Skyridge High School, Lehigh. We had an injury on the play. Number 55 is okay. He's walking off on his own power for Lone Peak. That's Aiden Schroeder. We hope he's well and can get back into this game. Now we're back to the action. 4:24 to play first quarter. Skyridge with a 6-0 lead over their rival to the east, the Lone Peak Knights. Stevens with a lot of options, trips to his left. Going to hand it off to Sheffield, who's wrapped up. Gain of about 4 or 5 yards before he's taken down.
Gets to the 47-yard line.
Come out running the ball. I guess they didn't hear me. They don't believe in my philosophy. That's okay.
No.
It's probably best that coaches don't listen to me.
The offensive coordinator heard you and said, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let you tell me how to do my job.
It's all right. There's a lot of people on a daily basis who tell me that exact same thing. So,
including your boss at home, right?
Boss is now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Stevens, pitch, nice pass. Sheffield, a little Utah pass, a shuffle pass.
To number 3, Carter Sheffield.
Executed well.
43-yard line.
It's a really smart game plan with an aggressive defense like Lone Peak. You see the screen pass, scored the touchdown. Now you're running a shovel pass. You're taking advantage of those defensive ends, getting upfield, looking for that pass rush. And you're getting chunk yards out of it.
Same formation, trips left for Stevens. Now a man comes in motion. Stevens was looking at him, but now he's going to go opposite. Takes a deep shot down the middle. Incomplete, but we have a flag on the play. So call the intended receiver. Skyridge is going to get 15 on this.
What do you got?
Almost a Braden Roberts type catch there to put him down in the red zone.
Pass interference on the defense, number 1. 15-yard penalty will result in a first down.
$15-yard penalty will give the Falcons a first down.
We can see the pattern of what Skyridge is trying to do. You got run play, you've got shovel pass, you're trying to set up that big shot down the field. They got what they wanted. Still really good coverage by Lone Peak. He's right there. Of course, it is a penalty, but staying step for step for any of these Skyridge receivers is a win. You prevent the touchdown.
First and 10 from the 28. Motion again, Trent Call in motion. Hand off to Sheffield. He breaks loose. He's free down the sideline. Inside the 10. First down and more. What a strong run by Sheffield.
I think it took half a dozen different nights to bring that guy down. He goes downhill so effectively, but he's able to make, I mean, look at the moves he's able to utilize to get back outside. The balance. It's a very impressive run.
Hours and hours in the weight room paying off. We got a fumble. Missed snap. And it's recovered by Sheffield.
Second down.
So it'll cost him a down and a couple yards. 1st and 12. They keep tempo. They're going to go right back at it. Probably the same play. Trips left again. Same formation they've been running this entire drive. We'll see if they send someone in motion again. Catch is made inside the 5, right at the 5-yard line, in fact.
Stevens pass complete to
he pays a price. Again, Burke is having himself a night already. Multiple receptions here in the first quarter.
So far, he's been Stevens' favorite target tonight. He's laser focused on him. Lone Peak's been pretty comfortable staying in their base defense. Talking about 3 wide, one at the top. They're not matching personnel.
Different formation now. In motion, Stevens. Hand off, Sheffield. No, he stops short.
Carter Sheffield carrying the ball to the 2-yard line. 4th and goal.
4th and goal.
Number 5, Easton Anderson.
Carter Sheffield, number 3. With the way Skyridge is playing, I think they're just fine with. They're just dominating this time of possession right now.
Yeah, no thought of kicking it here. They're going to go for it.
They'll go right for it.
2 receivers each side. Now Stevens is going to call a timeout. They're going to talk it over.
Timeout taken on the field. Timeout by Skyridge.
But considering how well Skyridge's defense is playing, if you're pinning that team inside the 1, to me it's a win-win, even if you don't get the score.
Yeah, no question. And I think they feel pretty confident that, you know, they don't need 3 points here. They want to be aggressive. They want 6 or 7. So up 6-0 right now. They're going to be aggressive all night. And Skyridge is an aggressive football team. That's why they're successful.
You've seen it all night. The way they're playing defense, the way they're sending guys out into routes. They're home run hitters. They're not Tony Gwynn. They're not looking for a single through the gap. They're looking for home runs every time.
No, they don't hit singles. Beautiful night for high school football into the Friday Night Lights. Got college football, of course, going on right now as well. The Utes down early up at Corvallis. 7-0 in the first quarter.
Can the Skyridge offensive line make it there by halftime?
They might need them tonight. What Utah needs is some scoring on offense. All right, 4th and goal from the 2. Here we go. Sheffield into the end zone for the touchdown. He got it done. They go run again, and that's Sheffield's 2nd touchdown of the game. This one on 4th and goal from the 2.
As we talked about, the size of this offensive line, when all you need is a yard, that is not a tough ask for this group, especially with a runner like Sheffield in the backfield. Makes any short yardage situation a lot easier.
Extra point. This one is good. So Skyridge with a 13-0 lead on their home field for homecoming. 59 seconds left to play first quarter. Another look at the score.
Just the way that offensive line is able to wash that Lone Peak defensive line just completely out of the picture. I mean, the defensive end, the way he ends up, he's almost 6-7 yards away from where he started on that near side. They're just kind of doing whatever they want in their run game.
They're just dominant up front. That offensive line is I mean, you can imagine how good they're going to be next year. It's scary how good they could be next year.
And truly excellence.
A lot of good young talent on this Skyridge team in the trenches. They're going to have to find some skill position players next year. They're senior heavy at quarterback, receiver, running back. Another player we're not seeing tonight is La'Akea Kalama, who's injured, not playing.
It's scary to think that there's another weapon that's not on the field, and they're up.
It's
13 to nothing.
So much talent on this team.
But kind of going back to what you said, it always seems like at Skyridge they're always able to find weapons down here. So to have an offensive line, like we said, with that kind of continuity coming back next year, it's so easy for them to reload.
That ball goes out of bounds. That'll be a penalty. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. So decent starting field position for the Knights as they try to get something going here on offense. It's been a rough go so far, as it is for many teams facing the Skyridge defense. We've given the Lone Peak defense a lot of praise tonight, and for good reason. I mean, when you saw #1 in the country in interceptions, but this Skyridge defense is just as dominant. They have been so good this year as well. They haven't given up a lot. Really, Skyridge, the only scare they got all year was against Bingham, and they still won that game comfortably.
And that front seven, it's about as good as you're going to get this year in the States. They don't have a lot of takeaways as a team, but there's not a lot of teams that are able to drop back and pass against them or even run against them. They're just able to control that line of scrimmage, whether it's run stop, whether it's getting to the quarterback. They're really effective.
They're going to have him kick again.
You don't see that too often.
No.
Most teams just take the 35-yard line and call it good.
This is the team that had a kickoff return for a touchdown just 2 weeks ago.
And with the offense sputtering, get it in a playmaker's hands and see what can happen.
They'll look for any chance they can get to score. So here we go, take two. And whistle blows again. Were they offside? Yeah, bring it back. Offside.
Move it back.
No,
Offsides on the kicking team will re-kick from the 30.
It's going deeper and deeper here. So we'll have a third kickoff attempt.
Fans at halftime with a special treat. With the homecoming game, we will be presenting the Skyridge Homecoming Royalty, followed by a great performance by Skyridge's marching band. So make sure you grab your treats and be ready for halftime here at Skyridge Homecoming.
This kickoff sequence is almost as long as the first quarter.
I think their last drive was shorter.
Felt like it. Blake Hester will kick off again. Here we go. Robinson takes it. He's dangerous. He's got a crease. Then he's wrapped up. So he ends up around the 37-yard line. That's where Lone Peak will start this drive. So they exchange another kick for about 2 yards.
Worth it, I would say.
Absolutely. Especially how much of a struggle it's been so far tonight to get yardage. They'll take it.
Take anything you can get.
Robinson in motion. Christensen now with 3 receivers to his left. He's going to run. And doesn't get much. He gets maybe a yard out to the 38-yard line.
Tackle from behind by number 5, Jackson Fenton.
Fenton did an excellent job spying him on that play.
1 yard on the play.
They were ready for a quarterback draw. His eyes were looking down Christensen from the snap.
This could be the last play of the first quarter. Second down and 10. Yeah, we got movement. Offsides. So Lone Peak will take that 5 yards.
Offsides on the defense. 2nd and 4.
So 10 seconds and counting. Skyridge might be bringing the pressure. I think Lone Peak's just going to let the time run out, and they're going to take this into the second quarter on 2nd and 4. That's what they'll do. Our first quarter is done. And it was all Skyridge. With the exception of a Lone Peak interception. The Falcons have dominated so far. 13-0 the lead. Let's go down to Marilou's in the end zone.
At the helm of the Skyridge program, this 7-0 team is Justin Hem for the first time as the head coach here. We spoke to the team earlier this week about what it's like being under his leadership.
The preparation and the time and effort that he puts into getting us ready for each game is second to none.
One thing that we like to pride ourselves on is being the most prepared team on a Friday night, right? Competing, loving the challenge, but then also loving each other in the process and all the time that we spend together.
And how he bonded with us, that's what I really liked.
Justin Ham's my guy, you know. He's definitely one of the best coach I've had in high school so far.
Preparation that he gives us through the week of practice and, down to the scouting reports is something that I've literally never experienced, and it makes the game, when you get into the game, you know exactly what's going on.
Now, Coach Hem is no stranger to Skyridge football as he served as the offensive coordinator in 2022, and no stranger to Utah high school football as a whole, as he formerly served as the head coach of Brighton high school football. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Marilou's. Christensen on 2nd down and 4. Can't complete the pass, and we got a flag, a late hit, and Christensen is injured. Oh, no. He's going to get up and try to walk it off. This would be a disaster for Lone Peak. They've already lost.
Personal foul.
First and
roughing the quarterbacks here on the 57. Number 47. 15-yard penalty results in a first down.
So Kopo Malafau got with the penalty for the hit on Christensen. Looks like he's going to stay in the game. He's walking it off.
It's great news because I don't know if Lone Peak has anybody else on their roster.
Coach Brockbank just took a big sigh of relief because that didn't look good for a moment.
Oh, a team that's already facing so much adversity with injuries. It's not what they needed right now.
But they needed that penalty yardage. It puts them across midfield. They are now at the Skyridge 42-yard line. They'll try to get the rhythm going on offense here. They've not been able to do that so far. 5 receivers. Empty backfield for Christensen. Skyridge is going to bring the heat. Now they drop. Christensen throws it right to the orange shirt. Interception. Tripped up, but not before he returns it about 10 yards. Mark Baird with the interception for the Skyridge Falcons.
And Christensen took a shot right before he let that ball fly. You always like to give credit for someone who stands in the pocket, but oof.
He may have been trying to get it short to number 12 and overthrew him. I don't think he saw anyone beyond that. He was under intense pressure, as you saw there, and just overthrew it to the short man, and right in the arms of Baird. Mark Baird, the senior. He's a cornerback, starting corner.
Another instance of Skyridge dropping 8 into coverage again.
They showed blitz and then backed out to 8.
Now, if you're able to get pressure with 3, then that makes things a lot easier for you.
Stevens throws it behind the intended receiver.
Pass intended for 23, Brett Bueller, falls incomplete.
It's Brett Bueller, the intended receiver, running back. So it'll be 2nd and 10. So we've seen both quarterbacks throw picks here early. Lone Peak could not take advantage of the first one they got. Let's see what Skyridge can do with theirs. 2nd and 10. Lone Peak backs out after showing pressure. Incomplete again. And now a flag comes in late.
intended for Jack Burke. Flag on the play.
Some extracurricular down here on the near side.
Hope our mic works on this call. I'd like to hear what it is. It's on Skyridge. We'll back him up even more. We'll do 2nd and 10 again. Be 2nd and 15, actually. Skyridge knows how to party. I've been dancing this whole broadcast.
They have their own DJ in the stands. I'm not sure I've ever seen that.
Which I love. Great atmosphere.
He does an excellent job of keeping that energy up.
Ineligible receiver. Backs the Falcons down. Back 5 yards. Replays.
And there he is.
So it's declined. That makes sense. So now it's 3rd and 10. Makes a lot of sense. So they'll bring the ball back to the 45, but it is 3rd down. And Lone Peak likes their chances. 3rd and long.
5 yards for the Skyridge offense isn't much, so losing the down is more important.
How many will Lone Peak send here? Quite a few. Stevens, a little bit of pressure, gets it off, going deep. Catch is made. Wow, down to the 15-yard line. Guess who? What a night by Jack Burke.
Does a terrific job of high pointing this ball. It's one of the few times this entire game that Stevens has been able to go through his progressions and stand in that pocket. And he delivers a great ball for him to go in high point.
What a pass. Even better catch. And what a night for Jack Burke so far. Skyridge in the red zone again. Stevens takes a shot over the middle. The catch is made. Into the end zone. Touchdown. What an ending to that drive. He started what he finished. Jack Burke. What a night for the senior receiver.
Great work. They had a single high safety. The motion of the offense pulled him over to the near side. Left one-on-one for Burke. Led to 6 points.
And Skyridge is blowing this game open here early in the 2nd quarter. The extra point would make it 20-0. And Lone Peak, with the adversity they're facing, the injuries, turning to their 3rd-string quarterback, the junior, Christensen. It gets tough in a game like this. Skyridge is an absolute machine. Tough to stop.
Yeah, this particular environment, just everything going against Lone Peak coming into this game. It's not an easy ask for Luke Christensen. Hostile environment, homecoming week. One of the best, if not the best teams in the state, and it just, things are not breaking Lone Peak's way right now.
And the best DJ in the state in the house tonight.
I don't think
the party here continues.
I don't even think that can be argued. Number one. It's a shame that our camera hasn't been going this whole time, because I've seen Jeremiah breaking a dance more times than I've known him in 15 years in the last hour.
I'm a sucker for MC Hammer. This takes me back to 1990.
That's why you wore your baggy pants today.
I should have wore Hammer pants. Actually, no, I shouldn't have. 11:08 to play, 2nd quarter, 20-0.
The 16-yard touchdown pass from Stevens to Jack Burke. For the Skyridge touchdown, the PAT good was Blake Hester.
Uh-oh, Luke Robinson's on the loose. Robinson to the 50, out of bounds, just past the 50. Again, he did this 2 weeks ago against Pleasant Grove, and he almost did it again here, and this would have been huge for the Knights.
Just a great job setting up that wedge. Lone Peak has had terrific starting position the entire night.
They've been winning the field position battle.
Absolutely.
They just have not been able to take advantage of it. And here's another great opportunity for the Knights.
On the other side of the 50, I mean, you hope you can take advantage of at least one of these positions, give you something going into the half to build on.
Yeah, this feels, I'm not going to say must score here, but this is pretty crucial that Lone Peak get points on the board quick. Christensen, it's dropped.
Pass intended for number 19, Jason Owen. Ball's incomplete. Second down.
Fortunately, I think that's about the third drop we've seen tonight from Lone Peak receivers.
Not helping out your quarterback in this situation. They've got to start bringing some of these in. They've continually had third and long situations, and then Skyridge brings the pressure. 2nd and 10. Christensen keeps. Gets a yard or two. Oh, it's a fumble. Ball's loose. Skyridge has it. The Falcons have recovered.
Tackle by number 60, Benny Tokulau. D-line, number 60. Fumble on the play and recovers by
Just that Skyridge swarm getting to the ball.
Just a group of tacklers working to loose. I can't tell who jarred it out.
Looks like it comes out on that initial hit. Yeah, it's hard to say who knocked it loose, but
credit the whole defense. Skyridge, their defense has been outstanding tonight. We knew it would be tough for Lone Peak's offense, and it's been more than that tonight. Now 2 turnovers. Skyridge will try to take advantage again. Stevens completes the pass. Good for about 3 yards.
Pass to Carlos Sheffield.
Running back Sheffield with the catch. A lot of penalties in the last moments here.
Yeah.
We take it.
Let's see what they say.
During the play.
Penalty is holding against the offense.
Lone Peak's identity has been defense for the last few years.
10-yard penalty makes it.
It almost feels like Skyridge has been hearing about Lone Peak's defense, and their defense wanted to make a statement tonight. Show they're not the only good one in Region 3.
1st and 20 now for Skyridge. Wasn't a problem last time. Stevens, quick shot outside. Burke again. He's wrapped up quickly.
Stevens pass complete to Jack Burke, number 14.
Tackles made by Matthias Nawahine.
Matthias Nawahine. Ball at the 42.
Burke, number 14.
You have rhythm with the guy. There's no use in stopping. Just keep feeding him.
And Burke's having a special night.
But that's a little bit about what we were talking about pre-game, is there's not one go-to guy in this offense. He's got 4 legitimate number 1 guys that he can throw the ball to. So if they're doubling one or they're paying more attention to a couple, you're going to get these one-on-ones like Burke's getting tonight.
Plenty of time. Stevens over the middle. The catch is made. Not for a first down, but it's past midfield. Guess who? Burke again.
He had that single coverage. Safety was too far up near the line.
Coming up on 9 minutes to play. 3rd down and 4. Lone Peak showing pressure. Now backing off a little bit. Stevens, a quick hitter. Call's got it. Sidestep. What an effort by Trent Call. Now he's got room to run. Down the sideline. Breaks a tackle. Breaks another tackle. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Trent Call. What a play. "48 yards for the touchdown. Stevens to Trent Call.
Not much to break down on that play. That is just an absolute incredible effort. There wasn't a player on the field that could bring Call down.
Extra point is good, and Skyridge has a 27-0 lead. Let's look at it again.
There's a simple little bubble screen. 1, 2, 3. Great angle by the defender, but 4, 5. The 6th guy gets to him, but it's too late.
Real. Just a phenomenal play by Trent Call.
Make those kind of moves. Keep yourself in bounds. Find the end zone.
This is one of the best defenses in the state.
And he's making them look like they're non-existent out there. This is a team that just does not miss tackles, and they cannot bring down any of these Skyridge skill players.
Any college coaches watching, that was a special play right there. That's one of those, you watch high school football, and there's always those guys that show a different level than the other players they're playing against. That was a different level play by a player outclassing the other players on the field, which is saying a lot. That was a big-time play by Trent Call, a next-level play by the receiver, a senior.
The difference between good and great, right?
Absolutely. That's got to be the first play on his resume tape.
He might get a couple offer letters after tonight.
That was special. 27-0. Skyridge running away with this one. And now you got to wonder about the mindset of Lone Peak right now. It seems like a good time to bring up what happened last year, where it was flipped. It was Lone Peak that took a 30-10 lead in the 4th quarter, and Skyridge was up against it. Probably questioning a lot of things. Ooh, big hit on special teams.
Heat-seeking missile. You got to think that's the message, too, for Lone Peak at halftime. Chance to flip the script from last season. Due to Skyridge, what they did to us.
That's got to be the message in the locker room is, hey, we know what this looks like. This happened to us. A lot of you guys were here last year. You were on the wrong end of that. Let's go give it back to them. So it's got to start right now, though.
They need to establish something to build on.
They need a big play.
If they're going to
pull
this off.
Explosive play on offense. Decent run on 1st down. It's Mayberry on the carry. Getting some different personnel here to try to give spark. Mayberry, plug him in there at the running back position. 10 interceptions on defense, and now he's getting some run at running back.
Yeah, you got to use whoever you can. Put the ball in a playmaker's hands and hope something happens.
Christensen all alone in the backfield. Play clock's under 10. Now under 5. They got to go. Barely in time. Christensen. Incomplete, almost intercepted.
Pass in and out of the hands of number 10. Falls incomplete.
Robinson, the intended receiver. Tobin Smith was on coverage and almost was able to take that away.
Skyridge pretty content. I mean, it's not a prevent defense, but they're keeping everything in front of them. I think they're just trying to make sure that they don't get that big play that we were talking about. Anything that can kind of spark this offense. They're perfectly willing to give up a couple yards here or there.
Trouble for Christensen. He's going down. Team sack. Skyridge takes him down on 3rd and 7. And the Knights are going to have to punt.
Toilolo did a good job of waiting until the snap, picking his gap, goes inside when the tackle goes outside out. Executed really well.
Deshaun Toilolo, another junior on this team. Their junior class is loaded with future D1 players. Toilolo could be one of them.
For that starting front 7.
Almost got to him again. Deep punt, though. Great punt. Edwards makes a move. Edwards has a chance. He's got a lane. Knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Excellent return by Tavian Edwards.
Got to check on that Lone Peak defender. His ankles are completely broken.
Oof. Little shake and
What a
bake right here.
Whoop. It's just an incredible move to make the defender miss.
Skyridge doesn't need any help, but they get it here. Field position at the Lone Peak 32-yard line to start this drive. Already up 27-0. We've got 7 minutes left here in the second quarter. Stevens hands off. Sheffield. Tackled by number 13. Tegan Towle.
Most likely see a heavy dose of Sheffield to end this half. This Lone Peak defense just looks tired.
They've been out on the field too long. You saw it on that last play with Trent Call's run. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from what Trent did, but it just felt like some of those Lone Peak guys were just a little bit in mud there. And fatigue probably starting to set in a little bit. They have had a lot of time out there on the field. We don't have the stats in front of us, time of possession, but it's heavily in favor of Skyridge. That defense for Lone Peak has been out there way too long. Stevens has to take it. He's going to throw it. Takes a shot deep. Call's open. Touchdown, Skyridge. Trent Call. Back-to-back touchdowns.
Touchdown, Skyridge.
Found the end zone in a little bit of a different way this time. Got that one-on-one coverage. And Stevens was able to just drop it in the bucket right in the back of the end zone.
That was a tremendous play by Jackson Stevens, showing off his arm strength. That was brilliant. Rolling to his right. It was a little bit of a broken play, Matt, where I think it was an RPO where the snap was high, so the timing was off with his handoff with the running back. Here we go, right there, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't look right.
But to make that throw, you're going to your right like that, over the shoulder, perfect.
Throwing back across.
And that's against Mayberry, who you could argue is the top corner in the state right now. But Trent Call's a big player. 6'2", former quarterback. Might even be taller than 6'2".
Just an excellent throw, an excellent route. It's for a play that didn't look great from the start, they executed it like that's exactly how it's supposed to be.
And the route is on, 34-0. Did not expect this, but with the injuries Lone Peak's dealing with and how hot Skyridge is, I guess we should have saw this coming. Lone Peak, of course, coming off an incredible, impressive 17-14 win over American Fork. American Fork, you mentioned the open, Matt. We saw American Fork against a good Lehigh team absolutely destroy them. They looked like an offensive machine, and their defense was really, really good. I was shocked by the final just because of what we saw from American Fork, but I thought Lone Peak, that defense, showing a lot, showing how strong they are, and that they could do something similar tonight with Skyridge. But boy, early, they got a couple stops early, but since then Skyridge has just been a juggernaut.
That's what Lone Peak's done over the last few years. It's been that defense, been able to slow down these offensive juggernauts. frustrate them, make them make mistakes, and keep the games low scoring. I remember when Corner Canyon's win streak was broke a few years ago. That's exactly what that Lone Peak team did. They harassed them on offense, made them make mistakes, backed them up in their own territory. You thought maybe Lone Peak could do something like that, but sometimes the best defense against a team, an explosive team like the Skyridge, is a ball control offense. And if you're not able to put together some sort of drive on offense, and you're going to give them this many chances, it just doesn't matter how good your defense is.
Nice run by Brooks Wild on first down. That might explain, Matt, why Bingham is the one team this year that gave Skyridge a little bit of a scare. Kept it close within 7. Bingham, one of those offenses that runs the ball really effectively. Very physical at the line of scrimmage, ball control.
That's right, that Freddie Hernandez offense. They want to keep you on the sideline. And it was so balanced the way they attacked that Skyridge defense. It kept them off balance all night.
You're starting to see Skyridge really round into elite form. Christensen, catch is made. Mayberry.
Lone Peak's been struggling to establish a run game all season. So coming into this game, they were already behind the 8 ball, and it down 34-0. The defense is pinning their ears back every time. There's just, you don't have many answers, especially if you're an offensive lineman.
Christensen's also a baseball player, pitches. And that arm's going to get a lot of work tonight. They're going to have to throw a lot the rest of the night. Really don't have a choice. 2nd down and 3. Another handoff, and they are just swallowing that up. That's just, they are dominating the interior on the line of scrimmage, and there's nothing in between the tackles tonight for Lone Peak. They tried multiple times to run in between the tackles, and this happens every time.
You know, one thing that Sly always harps on in this booth or on KSL Sports Live is that gap integrity in the run game, and Skyridge is excellent at maintaining that integrity and getting penetration at the same time.
Little love to Veni Tokelau, who got that tackle for loss. 3rd and 5. Christensen to pass. Takes a shot. Catch is made. Are the feet in? Yes, they are. First down, Lone Peak. Nice effort by Jashawn Mayberry. That's his first catch of the night.
I was going to say, there's been a handful of plays similar to this that have been there. It's nice to see him connect on one. You hope that maybe they can get something going after this catch. The way this Skyridge defense is playing right now, they're really trying to take away that middle of the field. There are plays to be made along the sideline.
Christensen doesn't have a lot of time. Takes a shot deep over the top. Almost brought in. And a flag is thrown. So Mayberry draws the flag.
There's a penalty on the play.
But that's just as an effective offense sometimes. You throw up those deep balls. You're either going to get a guy who makes a great play on it, or maybe you get a defender who gets a little overzealous like that, and you get the penalty.
Pass interference, number 21 on the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
Pass interference on the defense. For the Falcons, the 21st of September was homecoming royalty night. And the pageant.
We're at 4:51 to play here in the first half. Lone Peak has the ball. 1st and 10 at the Skyridge 32. Christensen at quarterback. In the pocket. Steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to run. He's in trouble. He's just trying to get to the edge. And he might even lose a yard.
Ran out of bounds by number 5, Jackson Fenton.
He does. That's Trips to his right. He's going to hand it off to Wild. Wild trying to get up the middle. Not happening again. Skyridge has just been so tough in between the tackles. Tackle made by number 31. That's Amani Liufau. Liufau with the tackle.
There's just so much energy, so much confidence coming from this defense. Every player after every team, I mean, they're feeding off each other right now. You're able to play like that, play like this, you don't even feel tired most of the time.
Third down and 10 from the 32. Christensen. Heat comes. He's in trouble. He's going down. Skyridge does it again.
And quarterback sack, number 47,
Kopo Malafau is having a night.
Defensive end, middle linebacker.
Nothing fancy about it. He just beats him around the edge. They had a running back in to help, 6 guys in to block, 3 guys rushing the quarterback. They're still able to get to him.
4th and 15. Lone Peak's going to go. Nothing to lose here. They're going to take a timeout. So will we when we come back. We've got 4th and 15 from the 37. Skyridge. 34. Lone Peak nothing. We'll be right back.
For over 25 years, Salt Lake Running Company has helped people of all ages and levels find the gear they need to start their fitness journey.
From a free custom shoe fit analysis to a premium assortment of footwear and workout essentials,
SLRC is a top 10 run shop in America.
Locally owned, locally operated, with locations along the Wasatch Front.
SLRC is there to help you gear up and get out. Visit a store near you.
Or shop online at slrc.com.
I love my new Chevy Blazer. The first time I saw one driving down the road, I knew I had to have one. It fits my skis perfectly. It's cute and comfy. I got my Chevy Blazer at John Watson Chevrolet. My experience was amazing. The staff always treats you like family, and it was easy from start to finish. I would rate John Watson Chevrolet 5 stars. In fact, I would give them 10 stars.
John Watson Chevrolet, your 5-star Chevy dealer.
I would definitely recommend anyone looking for a new car to come to John Watson Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Lehigh. Skyridge, 34-0. Lone Peak is going to punt on 4th and 15. Try to pin him deep. Can they do it? Nope, they cannot. It's a touchback. Boy, they're not going to like the net on that play. It's going to be a net of about 15 yards. And most analytics people would argue there it's probably worth going for it on that situation. Because now you have going to the end zone and you don't get much on it.
At this point of the game, you're down 37-0. I mean, what's the difference from them starting at the 35 and them starting at the 20?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't necessarily understand the call, but...
Well, their offense just hasn't been successful. 4th and 15.
Might as well be 4th and 100.
It might as well be. So some other scores. Region 3. Pleasant Grove, undefeated, 7-0 Pleasant Grove, leads American Fork right now on the road, 10-7. That Pleasant Grove story continues. It's beyond calling it a Cinderella story. They're just really good. That could set up an undefeated matchup next week between Pleasant Grove and Skyridge right here.
What a game that would be.
And then Lehigh leads Westlake 21-6.
Well, Pleasant Grove's kind of been middle of the pack for the last few years here in 6A. This year, they just started off strong.
Last year, they were rock bottom.
Rock bottom.
Finished dead last in what was Region 4.
A team that was usually a perennial contender.
They had some good years. Yeah. Looks like Pleasant Grove is back. We'll keep an eye on that game throughout the night. Stevens. Complete. He's got a lot of room down to the 50. Close to it. Midfield. That's exactly what they'll market. They'll market in midfield.
Another
Trent
nice
call
throw
by
again.
Stevens.
Just a little dig, sits right in that zone. It's the last guy on this offense you want heating up, but I think it's too late. He's NBA Jam on fire at this point.
Stevens is slinging it tonight for Skyridge. He's going to do it again. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. Now he's going down. Great play for Lone Peak. They get the sack. That's Tegan Towle coming in. The 6'4 senior gets the sack.
Yeah, just a twist up the middle. I'm a little surprised they haven't been able to get to him as much as they have. Like, as good as they are, they're able to execute those kind of moves pretty frequently.
Lone Peak bringing the heat again, but they pick it up. Stevens has time and connects near the original line of scrimmage.
Catch by Colby Smith.
That's Colby Smith on the catch.
Tackle by 0, Bot.
Be 3rd and 10.
Colby Smith, 2, receiver.
Got 8 guys in the box.
They're bringing the heat. They pick it up. Stevens gets the throw off. It's incomplete. So the pressure, while they didn't get to Stevens, affected the play, and Skyridge will have to punt. So a positive for Lone Peak, a big play by Tegan Towle. Backs up Skyridge, and it's enough to force a 4th down. So on the punt is number 1, Trent Call, doing double duty.
Can do everything.
Why not? We're under a minute to play here in the first half. Oh, ball's loose on the ground. Who has it? Lone Peak comes away with it.
Fell right back on it.
Nervous moment there for Lone Peak. They didn't need that.
Lone Peak will have the ball at the 15-yard line.
You take any win you can get at this point when you're Lone Peak. They haven't been able to stop the Skyridge offense all night. You get a 3 and out. You give your offense a chance. You got 48 seconds left. We'll see if they're content just letting the clock wind down or if they're going to try to spark something here.
Yeah, my guess is after they were conservative on the 4th down, they're going to go conservative here and just get into the locker room and try to regroup and make some adjustments. We'll see what they do. Christensen fires over the middle. The catch is made. Near the 30, up to the 29. The clock will still run as soon as they move the chains and blow the whistle.
Just an easy pitch and catch. Puts it right in front of him, right in stride.
Seth Haskett the catch. Clock's running. Same formation, Christensen. He's got room to throw. Throws again, caught. Trey Robinson. Nick makes a move, tries to get out of bounds, and he does. That'll stop the clock at 21 seconds.
Really taking advantage of this big cushion that the Skyridge defense is giving him.
Taking what the defense gives them here. They are playing a little soft considering the circumstances, but Lone Peak will try to take advantage and at least get in a field goal range and try to get some points on the board. Christensen. Heat comes, steps in the pocket. Now he's in trouble. Thrown down violently. Another sack. Number 47, Kopo Malufau. What a night for Malufau.
Yeah, they changed up on that series. They brought more rushers. They played a little bit more man-to-man. They gave him a different look, and I don't think Christensen was looking for that, expecting that. Just the pressure they've been able to get with minimal guys coming after the quarterback makes it so much easier on your secondary.
Well, got a timeout here. We'll stick here. 14 seconds left.
It's our final game in September, if you can believe that, Jeremiah.
Makes me sad. The season's going by too fast. We're in week 8. How are we in week 8, man? It's crazy.
Happens every year.
It does.
First 2 weeks, you're like, wow, this is going to go on forever. And then you're here. You're week 8. You're week 9. You're in October, daylight savings, and
Christensen takes a shot. That's intercepted. Tavian Edwards. This is what I was worried about, and here he goes. He's got room to run. One man to beat. Edwards bounces up the lineman into the end zone. Pick 6. Tavian Edwards. We got a flag. This may not count.
I don't care how many flags there are. That'll always count in my heart.
That'll put a damper on the party when they find out. I don't think some of the fans here dancing know, but time has run out, so the half will end.
It's a great play. He ran with him almost like he knew what the play was. An even better return.
Interception by number 21, Tavian Edwards. Penalty is on the run back.
Just waiting to hear from the refs. But it looks like this ball is coming back, which is a shame because you don't see too many pick 6 returns of that nature.
No.
That kind of effort to end up in the end zone and then have it brought back.
That was a spectacular play by Edwards. It's a shame that for him that it's got time back. That's the end of the half. Wait, one on-time down? Is that what we're doing? One on-time
down.
Stevens can take a shot here. He's got an arm to do it. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to launch one. Nope, he's just going to throw it out of bounds. Throws out of bounds, and that is the end of the first half. And this half was dominated by the 6A defending champion Skyridge Falcons, 34-0. They lead Lone Peak at the half. Matt, we just saw brilliance from Skyridge. You got to hand it to them. You know, the Knights are dealing with some injury issues. That's been a challenge for them. And Skyridge just took advantage of that and more.
I mean, you never want to say perfect football, but I mean, I'm not sure what else Skyridge could have done right in that half. About everything they tried worked. Offense, defense.
That's it, 34-0 here at the half. The band's going to take over the field, and while they do, we're going to take a break. We will see you back here in about 15 minutes here on Game Night Live.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Each week, the high school football players in Utah wow us with spectacular plays.
Yeah, we feel like we need to recognize those plays each week with the Game Night 5. So here are the 5 best plays of the week in Utah high school football.
Number 5 goes to Cash Gates of the Davis Darts with a diving touchdown. Nice. Davis won the game, too. 42-0.
Brand Sawyer's a special talent. Grabs the ball on the bounce on this punt return. He kind of stalls and fakes everyone out, catches them all off guard, and he's gone. all the way back for the punt return touchdown. Ran.
That's Rand Sawyer of Dixie. The Flyers got the big win over Desert Hills. Canyon View playing Manti, and look at this play. Jackson Jensen, they threw like a double pass and then back to Deegan Davies, which results in an 80-plus yard touchdown pass to Asher Groff. It was a double pass screen.
Like yeah, exactly.
Isn't that cool? I've never seen that, but they executed it really well, and it turns into the 80-yard touchdown. Double pass screenplay. How about that?
Get that one in your playbooks. All right, number 2, Skyview's Brevin Egbert. Watch this run. He drags defenders with him all the way into the end zone. That is effort. Egbert finished with 6 touchdown runs in this game, or 5 rushing and 1 receiving, but man, what a beast.
What a season Egbert and Skyview is having. All right, number 1, Brighton's Jack Johnson. His pass is tipped in the air, but Nash Matheson brings it down in our Game Night Live Game of the Week. Nash is cash money for the touchdown.
U Conference football registration is open for the 2023 fall tackle football season. This year, we are proud to announce the addition of a girls-only division to play alongside our boys. Team scheduling lines you up against comparable competition, making every snap a valuable life lesson. UC football is safe and fun. Learn the game with confidence. The competition will be fierce and the camaraderie will be second to none. Sign up today at ucfootball.org. That's ucfootball.org.
Here are the top 5 plays performances from last week. Brought to you by Heidemann and Associates.
We're starting with Carter Langford. First of all, how about the fancy flip drop? Got a hand on it. Take a look at this. We'll show him the replay. Just gets his hand on it. Langford with the pick and the return inside the 5 for the Pirates. After that.
Good coverage. Picked by the Pirates. And that's... Get in the house. Get it in. Ooh!
Timano's offense has been great. Josh Graff has been really good, too. We always talk about Luke Livingston, but Josh Graff has been great for Livingston at quarterback, and here for Chase Riggs.
Riggs, looking, throws for Graff. It is caught! What a catch indeed! Josh Graff going over the top.
With a name like Cash, you better be money. Riggs, throw on the sideline. Oh, Cash McCann. Beautiful toe drag swag along the sideline.
Design roll out to the right. Riggs throws up the sideline, and it is caught! What a catch!
Hey, what's good with 1 week on top 5? You need 2 weeks. Cash Gates, good as money. Laying out full extension, pulls it in. How about a double dip for Cascades? This time with the foot in the ground, makes a move on the spin, and then the juke on top. Cascades, kids having a terrific year for the Darts. Brevin Egbert for Skyview. The old rivalry against Logan takes it on the reverse. How about this? He's taking admission. Just giving tickets for the hayride all the way in for the 6. Here's Alton Anthony Cottis. Powers his way as he soars to the end zone for Alta.
Motion the player in. They're going to hand it off. Andrew Cottis up the middle, still going. Slips to the outside, and he's gone. Touchdown there for Alta on the run. 13-0 now.
Brighton's Donovan Wisman. With a name like Wismer, you think he'd be quiet. This is a loud play. Gets out of the tackle, and Wismer stayed on his feet with a big gainer for the Brighton Bengals.
1st and 10. Johnson going to throw it quick. Wismer has it this time. He makes the catch. Now he breaks free. Wismer's got a chance to break away. Down the sideline. Look at that speed on display.
Another week, another top 5 play for Lone Peak's Trey Robinson. On a night dominated by the defense, Robinson with a terrific circus grab for Lone Peak.
Cavemen only bring 3. Clean pocket for Staley. Airmails another, and it was juggled and then caught. How about the grab that time by Trey Robinson?
Micah Sedgwick for Skyline. Runs out slant. Yeah, you got to make tough catches if you run that route. Sedgwick, he's a tough one.
Burst takes the snap over the middle, and it is caught.
Yeah, bobbling catch. Watch this rail route. You thought it was a pick? No, it's an offensive tip drop, and it's Nash Matheson for 6.
Johnson in the pocket's going to take a shot. Almost intercepted, but caught!
Oh, no.
Into the end zone!
No way.
41 yards for the touchdown!
We want winners. Olympus's Chase Mosley to Ty Siegel for the win! And Olympus holds off Alta and beats them in triple overtime. What a year for the Titans.
Be it. Chase Mosley motions Nick Brown out. Throws it to the end zone. It's caught. There it is. Olympus has won. Ty Siegel caught it. And after all of that, the Titans have finally done it. And here come the students. They stood out in the cold for 3.5 hours, and they deserve it. They're on the field now.
Know any plays that we missed? Hit us up at KSL Sports Rewind or at highschoolrewind@gmail.com.
Moving mountains takes more than muscle. It takes commitment through the comfortable, the uncomfortable, the starts, the stops, the sunny days, the stormy days. Here at Salt Lake Running Company, rain or shine, we've got you. We are here to help you keep moving forward. Locally owned, locally operated since 1995. SLRC offers free custom shoe fittings, rewards, training groups, races, free events, seminars, and clinics. Visit us in store or online today at slrc.com.
All right, the recipe's simple. Take some music, one of our talented KSL sports producers, mix it up with Utah's amazing high school football talent, and we get this.
It's the Game Night Live highlight reel, and it starts right now.
Let's go.
Where are they going to mark it? Where's the signal? No good! The Bengals hold!
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access
If you want to avoid your AC breaking down this summer, the best thing you can do is stay on top of your AC's annual maintenance. But if you do find yourself with an air conditioner blowing hot air, Any Hour Services technicians service all brands, and they can usually get to you pretty quick. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. Whether you need maintenance, repair, or replacement, the technicians at Any Hour Services can help you keep your home comfortable all summer long. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Salt Lake Running Company is inspiring our community to move with purpose, embrace adventure, and consciously connect to their bodies. Exercise is essential now more than ever. Take control of the chaos and make time for you. From the gym to the trail, SLRC can help you find the focus to define your finish line. Visit any of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com.
I love my new Blazer. It's cute and comfortable, very quiet, and drives really good in any weather condition. My experience buying it here at John Watson Chevrolet was super awesome. Everyone was really friendly. I didn't feel a ton of pressure, and they helped me get the exact Blazer that I wanted. Definitely a 5-star experience.
John Watson Chevrolet, your 5-star Chevy dealer.
I would give them 6 or 7 stars if I could.
If you want to avoid your AC breaking down this summer, the best thing you can do is stay on top of your AC's annual maintenance. But if you do find yourself with an air conditioner blowing hot air, Any Hour Services technicians service all brands, and they can usually get to you pretty quick. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. Whether you need maintenance, repair, or replacement, the technicians at Any Hour Services can help you keep your home comfortable all summer long. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Salt Lake Running Company is inspiring our community to move with purpose, embrace adventure, and consciously connect to their bodies. Exercise is essential now more than ever. Take control of the chaos and make time for you. From the gym to the trail, SLRC can help you find the focus to define your finish line. Visit any of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com.
Welcome back to Lehigh Skyridge High School, home of our Game Night Live Game of the Week. Skyridge leading Lone Peak 34-0. You know, Matt, we thought this was going to be a matchup between a 7-0 Skyridge, the defending 6A champs, versus their rival Lone Peak, who was coming off a huge upset over American Fork last week. We talked about Lone Peak's dominant defense, but it's been the Skyridge defense that was a story. And, of course, that Skyridge offense continues to be efficient.
It just seems like one too many things for this Lone Peak team. Way too many injuries, no rhythm on offense. If you're down to your third-string quarterback, on the other side of the ball, it's the exact opposite. Everything going right for Skyridge. Their offense has found every kind of rhythm. Their defense has played absolutely lights out all over the field, lightning fast. They're getting turnovers. They're getting to the cornerback. They're stopping the run game. I mean, there's just very little that Skyridge is doing wrong in this game.
And, 34-0, it's tough. I mean, it's one thing to have hope of a comeback in certain scenarios, but against a team as good as Skyridge, it's going to be pretty tough. But, again, we keep referencing what happened last year. Lone Peak was up 30-10 in the fourth quarter, Matt. We thought that game was over, and we're like, wow, Lone Peak's taking it to Skyridge. Crazy. And then all of a sudden, you check the score 10 minutes later, Skyridge has won the game 31-30. So anything could happen. The Knights will try to regroup. Maybe they can make some adjustments in the second half and figure some things out here. But, if this result does hold, it's not a shock. Skyridge is the favorite to repeat. I think Corner Canyon's going to have a lot to say about that. And on a good day, I think American Fork could also make a run at either of those teams. But, we know where the balance of power is in 6A, and Skyridge is certainly on the right end of that balance of power.
They're certainly making a statement tonight that they're going to be the team to beat in Region 3. Of all the Region 3 matchups we've seen so far, this is by far, to me, looked like the most dominant win of a team in that region. Just so many aspects on both sides of the ball. No question marks whatsoever.
Well, my favorite part of the night, Matt, is when we get to give away some money. And we are in a position to give some money away right now. We got a big, giant check in the end zone with Miss Utah USA, Mariluz Cook.
KSL Sports is streaming tonight's game on KSL Sports app, KSL Plus app, and KSLSports.com. As a part of the broadcast, Utah Community Credit Union is proud to present a scholarship to an amazing student from each school that KSL is visiting this year. Now, our scholarship winner this week is Caleb Paul from Skyridge High School. Caleb's teachers say they're not just proud of him because of his performance in the classroom, that because he is kind, compassionate student who consistently goes the extra mile with everything that he does. Now, he served on the student council during his sophomore, junior, and senior years and leads by example. Most importantly, Caleb is a friend to everyone and is genuinely concerned about his classmates. He actively searches out everyone in need. Now, last year, Caleb created and maintained the Skyridge Wellness Wall, which is housed on the Commons area at the school. Each month, he updates the walls with relevant social and emotional supports for the entire student body. Caleb, certainly so many special things that you're doing at this school, and what a great scholarship to celebrate the things that you've done. What was your reaction when you found out that you had earned it?
I was just so surprised because college is on my mind a lot. Like, I've just been applying for scholarships just because I don't know how I'm going to pay for college, and so I was just so surprised.
Well, I'm happy for you, and this will put a good dent in it for sure. So I'm happy for you, Caleb. Congratulations to you, and thank you so much to Utah Community Credit Union for their support of local high school athletes. UCCU, love where you bank. Back to you guys in the booth.
Congrats to Caleb Paul. Now he's got to figure out, what do I do with this giant check? How do I cash this giant check?
That's just think of the size of the pen that you need to endorse that kind of check.
Yeah, how do you do that?
I think a paintbrush. That's what I would go with.
Who do you hire to sign that check? That's a job I want.
I just want to be in a situation one time in my life where I'm presented a giant check. I don't care
How cool
what
would
it's
that
for.
be? That'd be amazing.
You know what I mean?
Even if it's written out for $5, I want a giant check.
Exactly. It could be a rebate from a cereal box. I don't care. If it's a giant check, it would just make my life.
Hang it on my wall. Well, now Caleb has one for the rest of his life. And we're going to kick off the second half here on Game Night Live. That's a returnable kick. Trey Robinson. Uh-oh. Trey Robinson. Past the 40. past the 45-yard line. What a return. Trey Robinson, that's what he does.
Well, if they are going to make that comeback like Skyridge did last year, it's not a bad way to start the half and kickstart that off. He's just the patience to find the hole and to find the lanes on these returns. You can see why he's able to make so many plays on kickoff returns.
We got a flag on the field, so that may cost Lone Peak a bit.
Holding on the return team, number 11. 10-yard penalty, results in first down.
It's another reason he's able to get so many yards on those returns.
The stupid thing, Matt, is it happened towards the end of the return. So they're going to mark the ball at the Lone Peak 40-yard line. Not quite as much as he thought he had, almost a difference of 20 yards, but Lone Peak with the excellent field position to open this second half. They'll try to get their quarterback some help here. Another incomplete pass. It's been a tough night for the pass game for Lone Peak, and they're going to have to throw it a lot to make this interesting. They got to start bringing in those catches.
And they're just going to have to know that those Skyridge defenders are going to be there instantly as soon as they catch that ball. They're going to have to brace for those hits.
Especially over the middle. You're right, they've really crowded that middle. There's probably some opportunities on the outside, but give the Skyridge corner some credit. They're shutting that down. Christensen, hands off, nothing there. Boy, this is just dominance. They are dominating this game up front. Another great play by the defense. That's Ian Mariner, who clogs that up. Just eats up the running back. No chance.
Just sheds his block. Easy pursuit. This is such an impressive front seven.
Kopo Malafau, Vinny Tokelau, and Ian Mariner have been unbelievable tonight, that front three.
They clog up that middle and make everybody go outside.
Christensen over the top. Catch is made. It is complete. Past the 45 down to the 43-yard line of Skyridge. The first big gain of the night for the Knights. Nice pass by Christensen.
And the pass complete to
yeah, looks off the safety.
Even better catch.
An incredible catch. Wow.
That's Jashawn Mayberry. He's had quite a few good ones this year.
That is all hands right there.
All right, Lone Peak offense got something going now. They'll try to keep the momentum going. Wild in the carry. Brooks Wild. He's close to the marker. This Lone Peak offense showing some life.
Brooks Wild runs left side.
They're coming out with a spark.
The 35-yard line.
They're executing. They're firing off the ball just a little bit better than they were in the first half. They're able to maintain that line of scrimmage, keep the defenders off.
Region 3 score update. American Fork leads Pleasant Grove 21-14 right now. 21-14 American Fork. Christensen's pass caught, but immediately thrown down. No first down. The defense wrecked that play a little bit. Ball's on the 35 now.
Not really a chance for the runner to do anything after that catch.
Kopo Malafau, the trench kid, number 47, defensive end, the middle linebacker.
The Skyridge linebackers are so quick to react to any of those checkdowns.
Third down and 2. Wild with the carry. He's got enough. First down. Lone Peak moves the chains.
By 24, Brooks Wild. Good for a Lone Peak first down.
I think this is more first downs right now on this drive than they had in the first half. Things are starting to click for them a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more confidence. See if they can put some points on the board.
First and 10 from the 33. Christensen over the middle, incomplete. Intended for number 7, Logan Hoffines.
Incomplete. Second and 10.
Be careful throwing over the middle there. You're thrown into a sea of orange almost every time.
Sally Price.
really trying to clog up that middle and trying not to give him anything underneath.
That already belongs to you in the press box.
If you're Lone Peak, you know, you mentioned it a little bit early on this drive, you really got to look to the outside. They're giving them a lot of one-on-one opportunities, and they're keeping their safeties up pretty close to the line of scrimmage.
Another one deflected that time, it looked like. Skyridge has done a great job in pass defense all night.
They really have.
Third down.
Number 5, linebacker.
Even when they haven't been able to get to the quarterback, they've made it really hard for these receivers to make the catch. They're knocking it down. They're making hits almost instantly. They're definitely making the receivers here footsteps.
Third down and 10. Christensen throws outside, too short. Catch is made, but it's short of the goal, of the line to gain.
Complete at the 30-yard line.
Right at the 30-yard line. So Lone Peak facing fourth down.
I think it was the right read. He gets that ball there just a little bit quicker. It's a good anticipation throw, just a little bit short. The receiver had enough time to make a move. I don't know if he would have got the first down, but he's got to get the ball to him.
Fourth down and 8. Christensen. Heat comes. Gets rid of it. That is incomplete. And this drive ends at the 31-yard line.
21, Tavian Edwards on the
Throwing a little behind, but you got to bring that in.
A little behind. You still get your hands on it. You know, I think that's one of the biggest differences we've seen here tonight, Jeremiah, is anytime these Skyridge receivers have gotten their hands on the ball, they've made some spectacular plays. It's going back from that good to great. If you're going to elevate your team and you're going to be an actual contender, you got to make those simple plays. You got to make the catch. You got to give your offense a chance.
You've got a junior quarterback making his first start out here. You got to help him out. That just hasn't happened tonight. But again, that would have been a tough catch, but a makeable catch. Swings it outside to about the 37-yard line.
Good play fake on that read option. Had me faked out.
Colby Smith with the catch. .12 to play here in the third quarter. Second down and 5 from the 36. Stevens complete. Burke close to the 50. They'll mark him out at the 49.
Number 14, Jack Burke.
Jack Burke is just having himself a night.
Jackson Arrington.
He's been a magnet.
Number 14, wide receiver.
Anytime that ball's came his way, he's came down with it. Either seems like a first down or a touchdown every time he gets the ball.
First and 10, Skyridge from their own 49-yard line. Sheffield, room to run into the middle. Down to the 32-yard line.
And a 20-yard run by number 3, Carter Sheffield. On the tackle, Mason Anderson and Logan.
Just again, that offensive line washing down, making things easy. It's a great pull by number 72. I don't know if that was the guard or the tackle, but just getting out in front, creating a lane for Sheffield.
First and 10 from the 32. That was Brett Bueller on the carry.
Run up the middle by
Bueller, the junior running back.
Trevor McClellan, number 6.
You know, you see it here so often, you want to establish the run so you can set up your pass game, but Skyridge's offense is establish your pass, open up your run game. You're able to get those defenders and those linebackers to back up so much because you're so worried about all these guys catching the ball that they're leaving him an easy 10 yards almost every time he touches it.
First and 10 from the 22. Stevens taking a shot to the end zone. Looking for Burke. It's incomplete.
Pass intended for 14, Jack Burke. Incomplete.
He's 2nd and 10 from the 22.
Yeah, good coverage downfield. They're getting a lot of one-on-one looks.
Stevens goes back to his left. It's kind of a screenplay. Burke, nice spin move to get free down to the 10-yard line. That'll move the chains. Mark him right at the 10. It'll be 1st and goal.
Just get the ball in the man's hands. He'll get you first.
Such a reliable target tonight. He's done such a phenomenal job in the pass game.
They're making these offensive linemen work tonight, too, with all these screens and shovel passes.
Stevens the handoff. Bueller fighting for yards, gets 2 or 3.
And running the ball off tackle, number 23, Brett Bueller. Following the block of Luke Davies and Ben Howard.
Second down and goal from the 7. They'll look it off. They're going to go for another play here. Play clock down to 5. They snap it. Stevens, quick toss to Trent Call, trying to break the tackle and cannot. He did earlier in this game, did not there. He was thinking touchdown, but he was stopped. Great defensive play to keep him out of the end zone.
Held onto the shoelaces for dear life.
Great tackle.
They saw what he can do when he breaks one tackle. They weren't going to let him do it that time.
This will be 3rd and goal from the 5. With 5 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter. Man in motion. That is Call. Stevens looks to him, now goes back to the middle. Wide open for the touchdown. Guess who? Homecoming belongs to Jack Burke.
Doesn't matter what the votes say, he is the king tonight.
I gotta see, Red.
You can't touch Jack Burke tonight. What a night for Burke. Double-digit receptions, a couple of touchdowns. And the Skyridge offense just continues to roll.
They just have not been able to contain him.
The extra point is good, and it is 41-0.
Nice clean pocket. Yeah, it's just to see him so wide open in the back. Looks like there's a miscommunication with the back end. That corner thought he had some help coming from the safety, and he just let him go.
A night to remember for Jack Burke. And Skyridge pouring it on. We got a running clock now until Lone Peak scores again. 41-0. 4:31 to play here in the 3rd quarter.
How many touchdowns did you score on homecoming night, Jeremiah?
Not this many. I'm sure Skyridge was confident coming in. I don't think they could have dreamed of a game like this. They have just absolutely dominated this matchup that always seems to be a battle. That's why we're here. We had high expectations for this matchup, and Lone Peak coming off the thrilling win at American Fork, but all Skyridge tonight. Trey Robinson loose again. This has been the bright spot for Lone Peak. The return game has been on tonight.
And the kick by 78, Ethan Herfel.
The field position battle's gone to Lone Peak. They just haven't been able to capitalize.
That's true.
They're constantly in position to score, to put points on the board, but things just have not gone their way on offense. They haven't been able to establish any rhythm. There's been no chemistry between the quarterback and the receivers. The run game hasn't been able to be going. And that's a lot of that is a credit to Skyridge's defense, the way they're flying around tonight. They've been put in a lot of bad situations. They've responded, whether through turnovers, sacks, tackles for loss. They've not allowed Lone Peak to find the end zone.
Well, let's see if the Knights can change that here. Christensen avoids the rush, rolls to his right, takes a shot deep. Comes back to get it, incomplete. No flag. So missed opportunity there for the Knights.
I think if you're Lone Peak, that's what you need to be doing for the rest of the game. You need to be setting up these shots constantly.
Nothing to lose at this point, 41-0.
No, and Skyridge is giving you those. You saw the coverage was one-on-one on the outside. Lone Peak's been showing middle of the field kind of dink and dunk all night long, and even still trying to mix in the run game in the second half. They're letting those receivers get those one-on-ones on the outside. You got to try to take advantage of it at some point.
2nd and 10 from the 39. Takes another shot. He's got that one. Touchdown, Lone Peak. Turn off that running clock. Trey Robinson with a touchdown. 39 yards. But I hate to be the bearer of bad news for Lone Peak fans. There's a flag on the field.
And turn the running clock right back on.
Excuse me. Do you guys have a card for selling rice?
Go through here.
What are we doing?
Go talk to them. The officials are discussing this. Lone Peak looks happy about it. I think
during the play, we have hands to the face against the defense. The touchdown is good. The penalty will be accepted on the kickoff.
The touchdown stands for Lone Peak, the penalty on Skyridge. So some good news for the Knights. They strike big there. Christensen needed that. This offense needed that. Trey Robinson's got the touchdown, and it's 41-6 pending this try for the extra point. It's good. So you can officially turn off the running clock. It is 41-7.
It's a great throw. Caught him right in stride. But that's what we were talking about. They're going to give him these matchups. Heave it down the field.
You know, hindsight, you know the phrase, Matt, but feels like this should have been the play earlier in the game.
Absolutely.
That's been there, and they finally took advantage of it.
Skyridge has been pretty content, just taking away the middle of the field. But you know, with Lone Peak, when you're playing a quarterback, you want him. You don't want to come out throwing with your third straight quarterback go routes on the outside. Right. You know, you're trying to build confidence, and I think Skyridge knew that they're going to try to dink and dunk, throw to the check down, throw to the curl, throw to the flat. And that's exactly what Lone Peak did. Hopefully moving forward, Lone Peak can take some of what they're doing right now and find a little bit more on offense in the coming weeks for the playoffs, especially if Christensen's going to be their starter for the rest of the season.
I think they're expecting Jackson Blake to return very soon. Coach Brockbank told me that he was a game-time decision tonight. So his return could be imminent. Obviously, a lot more to play for as the season continues. This is just week 8. Region title may be out of reach. They tried the squib to try to get the ball, but they could not. Skyridge recovers it. Start this drive around the 27, 28-yard line.
And returning the kick, number 26, Chance Peterson. Fans, there's just a few Costa Vida burritos and salads left at the concession stand. And they've got hot chocolate. Great time with no line. Heading over to the Skyridge concessions.
See, that's what I call a good thing. I got a little good thing too. See, I used to hang out every night, running around in the clubs. Yeah, I thought I had everything. I thought I never needed love. That's because it ain't there. Street down for love above.
We have a new quarterback in.
Skyridge has a new quarterback into the game, and that is the sophomore, Keneal Sweetwine. So we get our first look at who's got next season.
Gain of 2 yards, second down.
When Stevens graduates.
And as we've already talked about, he'll be set up behind a really nice offensive line.
Yes, he will.
King Sweetwine, 13, QB.
So Stevens will have the rest of the night off. Near perfect night for Stevens. Hand off to Burke. No, he's going to keep.
Quarterback keep by 13.
Yeah, nearly lost it. Did a really good job of keeping that ball with his fingertips.
4-yard line.
Sweetwine does a good job to retain possession and get a few positive yards.
Number 8, Jackson Arrington, and 43, Tono Aquin.
We will probably start seeing some younger players sprinkled into this game as the clock continues to run. We're under a minute to play in the third quarter, and we're already seeing some second-string players enter. Oh, another bad snap or slash trouble getting the snap, and Sweetwine's just going to throw it. It connects. Give the sophomore quarterback some credit. That was an incredibly athletic play to get the ball out, to secure the ball, first of all.
Really looked like he was throwing it away.
And then to complete a pass.
Under duress, off the back foot, still makes the completion. It is for a loss, but, you know.
Not as big of a loss as it would have been had he been sacked.
Exactly.
Or if he turned the ball over. Smart play by the young quarterback. And that's the end of the third quarter.
And that is the end of the third quarter of play with the score. Lone Knight 7, Skyridge Falcons 41.
Both teams get touchdowns in that third quarter. And the Skyridge Falcons lead the Lone Peak Knights 41-7.
Let's go to break.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back with fourth quarter action.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land.
If you've been paying attention to Utah State football this season, then you know they've got a new QB1 in McKay Hillstead. And he was the one who led the Skyridge team to the 6A state title last year, less than a year ago. I had the opportunity to chat with the Davis transfer, Jackson Stevens, earlier this week about what it's been like filling his shoes.
Look up to McKay a lot. You know, the kid was a stud here, definitely a Skyridge legend. So to be able to, you know, QB this team and lead this team is, you know, it's kind of an honor because of the legacy that he left. Kid was a stud, definitely a Hall of Famer here. So, I really appreciate being here and the opportunity that I have to lead the team.
certainly not easy shoes to fill, and I tell you what, he's doing a great job of it tonight, filling in the shoes of McKay Hillstead. So gonna look forward to seeing the rest of what Jackson Stevens and the Skyridge football team put together in this fourth quarter. Back to you guys.
Mariluz, thank you. He's actually done a terrific job filling those shoes with McKay Hillstead. He's been nearly as productive and efficient as this Skyridge program just keeps rolling. Christensen takes a shot down the middle. Too much air on that one. Not even close.
It seems like the theme with the Skyridge team is kind of replacing the guy that was the guy.
Yeah.
Whether you're Stevens replacing Hillstead or your Coach Hem stepping in after a state championship. Of course, he was with them as the offensive coordinator last year, but you know, they always say you don't want to be the guy after the guy, but both of them have done a phenomenal job.
Following John Lehman and what he was able to do with this program, building it from the ground up and then turning it into a state champion. Pretty impressive what Coach Lehman's done, who's now the athletic director, and Coach Hem picks up, and it's been elevated, to be quite honest. At least after 8 games. Christensen running for his life, throws close but incomplete.
Luke Christensen on the run.
No, if you were going to say that Skyridge is going to have a new quarterback after McKay Hillstead, a brand new head coach, and you're still going to be what looks like 8-0 after tonight, I mean, it's incredibly impressive. And, you know, talking with the coach, it was a little bit like what Mariluz was talking about earlier with the coaches, is that, you know, he did a great job of just stepping in and going with the culture that had already been built. He didn't try to change things. He didn't try to tear anything down. He just tried to take it and take it up a level.
Christensen runs out of the pocket, makes a move on the linebacker, and he's right there at the sticks.
Quarterback keep by Luke Christensen.
I think that's the first time we've been able to see Christensen in open the field, and he has some impressive wheels.
He's a two-sport athlete, also plays baseball. It is 4th and 1, though. They're going to mark him short. But it's not even a yard, as you can see there. He's just got to get to the 45. Not a lot to go here, but that Skyridge front has been stout. Let's see who wins. Christensen throws it up for grabs. It's caught. That's a first down in midfield.
Christensen's pass complete to number 2.
Great job getting the ball out quick. Saw the pressure. Saw the coverage on the outside. Gave his receiver a chance to make a play. These were just things we weren't able to see in the first half in these scenarios.
Flags are down. Christensen takes a shot over the top, incomplete.
Another flag came flying in at the end.
Yeah, we got a lot of laundry out there. We will wait for them to sort this out. It may take a minute.
Might have caught the corner for a hold on that back end, but that first one, I'm not sure.
Illegal formation here against the offense. Holding on the defense. Those penalties offset. We'll replay the down.
It'll be first down, low peak ball at the 50.
.830 and counting. So Lone Peak gets a new set of downs. First down and 10 from midfield. Christensen takes a shot over the top. It's there again. Incomplete.
Almost the exact same play.
All right, we're having a party up here in the stands. Let's go to Mary Lou's Cook, who's found the life of the party.
Jeremiah, it is always a party at these Game Night Live football games, but what is unique is that we are at the only high school that boasts a DJ, and he actually used to be a coach for Skyridge, and he's been doing this now for 7 years. I'm with DJ Honeycomb. Can you tell me how this came to be for you, that you started DJing for the Skyridge team 7 seasons ago?
Yeah, it just started out by the community knowing that I'm a DJ, and then when I rolled up coaching, they asked if I could be over the game day experience. And so, you know, I do all of our orange and gray games, the school dances, you name it, like I'm here.
Certainly, and you're telling me that it's a unique experience here, that people come specifically for the game day experience, which is really special. I can tell you I'm having a great time. But there's a lot of planning that goes into this. There's a lot of execution here. It is lined up, as you can see. So you were sharing that with me. What does your prep look like for a game day?
So Coach Lehman and I, in the beginning, we started writing scripts, and we came up with writing scripts. And so just so that the cheerleaders, the drill team, dance company, the band, and, you know, and then also our announcers, our spotters, everybody's on the same page, so we're not playing over each other. And, you know, we're just being really respectful of each other because it's an experience, and we want it to be top-notch.
DJ Honeycomb, I tell you what, if the game itself isn't an experience for Skyridge fans, the music and the energy that is coming across through your music, I can't tell you. It's been so much fun. So thank you so much for your time.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you. Go Falcons.
All right, back to you guys in the booth.
The two-point conversion is good. What an effort on that catch. Gabriel Tom with the big touchdown run, and then Lone Peak gets the two-point conversion. Here's another look. Run after catch, I should say.
Taking advantage of that ultra-aggressive Skyridge defense. They got upfield, and there were very few in front of him. Great job by the lineman getting down. Those are some great blocks to get downfield and get on the linebackers like that.
That is a really well-executed screen pass, and Tom gets the touchdown. Gabriel Tom, the 5'9", 175-pound senior, and DJ Honeycomb get the party started again.
I think Lone Peak was wishing that we had gone to DJ Honeycomb a little earlier in the game. He's their good luck charm.
Apparently.
Start the party in the stands, start the party on Lone Peak's offense.
Well, Lone Peak's going to run out of time here, but at least they're getting some positive momentum that they'll take with them tonight as they enter next week's play.
You know, it's hard to tell if it's whether it's Skyridge calling off the dogs or being a little less aggressive, or if it actually is Lone Peak, because they've looked a lot different in the second half on offense. They've looked a little bit more cohesive. The execution's been a little bit crisper. Taking the shots down the field. The play calling has seemed a little bit, they've almost expanded the playbook a little bit for Christensen, I think. It seemed a little restricted in the first half.
Lone Peak with the onside kick attempt. It is fielded by Skyridge, who will start this drive at their own 45-yard line. How about that student section tonight? They have been here early. They're in large number, and they have been on it all night long.
Still going strong.
Bringing the noise.
Up 41-15. What's not to cheer about, though? This is what you want out of homecoming. Take your crosstown rivals, blow them out, move to 8-0.
So as we look ahead to week 9, Lone Peak will be at Lehigh next week. The Skyridge Falcons will host the Pleasant Grove Vikings, who are trailing American Fork right now 21-10. So the Vikings' perfect record is in trouble. Uh-oh! Sweetwine on the loose. The sophomore quarterback showing off his athleticism. Gets all the way down to the Lone Peak 30-yard line.
With the 20-yard carry.
Now, the great thing about opportunities like this for either team is the opportunity to get young players valuable varsity snaps. And right now, the sophomore quarterback, Keneal Sweetwine, is getting those valuable opportunities, and there he's showing what he can do.
He is electric with the ball in his hands. And just like you said, reps, reps, reps. The best thing for young players. And they're just so few and far between, especially for players this young at a varsity level.
They'll be looking for a quarterback next season, and Keneal Sweetwine wants to be the guy. Gets rid of it quickly. Ooh, nearly picked. Matthias Nawahine almost had back-to-back weeks there, but just out of reach.
Knight number 8, Jackson Arrington. Pass is incomplete. Second down.
Not quite the same luck with completing that other pass as that one was.
Floated on him a little bit.
A little bit.
But he was under pressure.
That's a little bit of what we talk about. You know, you get these kind of reps, you learn maybe that's okay to take the sack instead of throw it out into the flat and give the defender a chance for a pick six.
Not much there.
Carrying the ball up the middle, number 23, Brett Bueller.
Brett Bueller, 23.
Following the block of 74, Isaac Westover.
Coming up on 4.5 minutes to play. Lone Peak's going to bring the heat. Sweetwine gets rid of it quick. Catch is made. But he's hit quickly.
And pass caught right side, number 83.
Jackson Arrington was there to make the tackle.
Big defense right there.
Arrington of the Knights. Ball on the 32. Fourth down.
It was a good job by number 2 as well. Kind of upset the timing of that pass.
I'm trying to include everybody. Oh, you already know, baby. You already know.
Clock continues to run. Sweetwine connects over the middle. That's first down.
And Sweetwine's pass complete to number 81, Jackson Burt. Good for a Falcon.
Look.
You know it.
Find the spot in the zone. Receiver knew where the sticks were. Good execution.
So Sweetwine getting some good film here.
Sideline warning against the Falcons.
Valuable opportunities here.
Just gave a sideline warning to Skyridge. I don't think you can give a sideline warning to a homecoming team, especially when you're winning by this much.
Almost stopped in the backfield, but he's able to get loose back to the line of scrimmage.
Number 23, Brett Bueller, brought from
Bueller, the carrier.
Joshua MP, number 95 of the Knights.
Brett Bueller, 23, running back.
Play clock's going to run out. They're going to call timeout, and so will we. With 2:44 left to play, we'll take one final timeout. Skyridge leads 41-15.
If you want to avoid your AC breaking down this summer, the best thing you can do is stay on top of your AC's annual maintenance. But if you do find yourself with an air conditioner blowing hot air, Any Hour Services technicians service all brands, and they can usually get to you pretty quick. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. Whether you need maintenance, repair, or replacement, the technicians at Any Hour Services can help you keep your home comfortable all summer long. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
At UC
Beautiful night for football. Might be the last warm night of football we have as the temperatures start to dip a little bit at night. As we'll move into week 9 next week.
No more 80-degree days moving forward, I don't think.
Unfortunately, Bueller, nice run. Short of the mark, but shows off what he can do. It's
official timeout on the field for
we got an injury. Let's take another look at the run by Bueller. While they attend to the injured player, let's take a look at the scoreboard around the state. So we know what we have here. There's some other important games going on in Region 3. A lot of eyeballs on that American Fork Pleasant Grove game. Pleasant Grove Vikings on the road tonight with their 7-0 record on the line, and right now they are in some trouble in the second half. Now in the fourth quarter, American Fork has pulled away. They lead 28-10. Back to the action. Players off to the sideline. So on 3rd and 4, Sweetwine fights ahead, but he might be just slightly short. I think he is by a yard.
We saw him a little bit in the open field earlier on the drive. Showed a little bit of power, too. Able to get some tough yards.
And off the track to allow coaches have that time to meet with their teams. So please stay in the stands. When the coaches break, we'll be able to let you know.
That's a first down.
And
so got 90 seconds left to play.
Number 15, running back.
The run is good for
Selu. It's Zayden Selu.
They have Lone Peak so off balance now. Yeah, it's going to take a knee from here on out.
And the Falcons in victory formation.
I'll tell you, Sweetwine was pretty impressive in his varsity reps tonight. So that's a positive for the Skyridge program.
You can see the talent. It'll be fun to see how he develops next year when he has to step in.
And that should do it right there.
Again, fans, we ask you to please stay in the stands following this game. Allow the coaches to meet with their teams on the field. Also, fans, please look around, gather any possessions.
Another beautiful night under the Friday night lights comes to an end here for us at Skyridge High School. The Skyridge Falcons, the defending 6A state champs, impressive tonight against their rivals, the Lone Peak Knights. They win this one 41-15. The Falcons moved to 8-0 on the season, and the Knights to 3-5.
Balance, 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 I think is the theme tonight. Everything Skyridge was able to do fed into the other. They were able to play with tempo, but they were able to run the clock as well, to dominate time of possession. They were able to throw the ball however they wanted, but they were also able to set up the run game, and the defense was able to keep that Lone Peak offense off the field. Everything was working for Skyridge tonight. It is one of those games where you just sit back, you look, and I mean, I'm sure the coaches will have plenty of them to talk about on film, but for us watching the game, there's there's very little critiques you can give about that Skyridge performance tonight.
No, not a lot. Not a lot to pick apart. They look like the team to beat. We won't get too far down the road tonight, but for right now, we're going to leave here tonight pretty impressed with what the Skyridge Falcons did to the Lone Peak Knights, who are coming off an impressive 17-14 win over the American Fort Cavemen, who we thought was one of those teams that could challenge Skyridge in this region. We won't get that matchup until week 10. Skyridge will now look forward to playing Pleasant Grove here next week. The Lone Peak Knights got another tough road game. They got to go to Lehigh. And the Pioneers getting back on track tonight, taking it to Westlake. So that'll be another tough one for the Lone Peak Knights, as a Lehigh team who had some tough region games out of the gate. They're starting to pick up the confidence again and get healthy again. That'll be a tough one over at Lehigh High School.
You know, much like Region 4 last year, there are just no off weeks.
No.
In region play here. So many great teams. So many great matchups on a weekly basis.
Let's go down to this field where Marilyn Cook standing by with Jackson Stevens.
We've got Jackson here. Absolutely, Jackson. My goodness, what a win over the Crosstown Rivals. I know that we talked about it earlier in the week, but bragging rights certainly on the line. To be able to do it in dominant fashion and to lead your team to this win, what went into pulling out a win like this tonight?
It's a great week of practice, man. So proud of my team, so proud of the work and preparation that we put in this week. It was definitely one that, you know, Lone Peak's a heck of a squad, so it's definitely a week that we really had to focus and dial into what we need to do. So I'm really proud of our team,
Preparation definitely is a theme that we talked about a lot. You, your teammates, your coach, that we talked about leading into this one. What was the mindset coming into this game?
Yeah, you know, just, you know, again, in this region, man, this gauntlet of a region down here, any team can win at any given game, no matter, you know, what you hear, what scores are in the past. So you just got to be ready week in and week out, not get too over the top with a win. So on to the next, kind of the mentality of after every week.
All right, no, congratulations to you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Back to you guys in the booth.
Jackson Stevens, we were really excited, Matt, to see him in person tonight. We obviously did a number of his games up at Davis the last couple of years. In fact, as a sophomore, he started in a playoff game. Very experienced player. He led Davis to a big win last year against Layton. Down to the wire, a kick to win it. And now he's at Skyridge, and a little bit different situation where he's winning games comfortably, but we continue to see his development and his maturity as a quarterback. He's a player that's going to have a lot of opportunities to play at the next level.
Well, even seeing him coming from an offense like Davis's, coming down to one like Skyridge, you wonder how a player like that's going to react to that, and it's almost like he was built for this offense. It's a seamless transition. He makes it look so easy, all of these throws, whether he's on the run, whether it's a screen, whether it's dropping in the bucket in the end zone.
Let's go down to Marilyn Cook, who's standing by with our defensive MVP of the game.
Yep, Kopo, what a win for this team, and you certainly had a lot to contribute. And I know that there's a lot you want to say, because you were asking me earlier if you could be interviewed. What can you say about the way that Skyridge performed tonight?
Our defense came out, making plays. We know Lone Peak was going to bring it, but, we got to be the team that wants it more. And our offense, opening up holes, so our running back can run through, make us a good ball game, and I think that we came out and executed our best.
You certainly did that. I would say so. Such a dominant performance. What kind of confidence is this going to give you moving forward now being 8-0?
8-0, it's nothing new, but, we still got to grind and put in the work at practice and be the team that we are.
All right, fantastic work by you and your team. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Kopo Malafau had a big night. So did a lot of guys. Jack Burke was impressive tonight. He had a night to remember. Homecoming. Celebration of the victors. The Skyridge Falcons get it done. 41-15. Some closing thoughts here, Matt. Just wanted to get quickly your observations on, obviously, Lone Peak's going to be a different team here shortly once they get a little healthier. Anything can happen in the playoffs. So I don't think it's fair to judge Lone Peak and who they are tonight. They were shorthanded. But Skyridge, our first chance to see them this year, they look pretty impressive.
No, I mean, absolutely. Lone Peak, you hope that you're going to peak at the right time. Yeah. You just got to make it through these games where, things aren't going your way. But Skyridge, I mean, when this team playing like this, it's hard to imagine any other team trying to compete with them. I mean, I know Corner Canyon's really good. But that front seven, the way they play tonight, the way they're able to get after the quarterback, the way they're able to just set up camp in an opposing team's backfield, they're going to make it hard for any kind of offense to get any kind of rhythm and score any points against them. And you're going to have to score points because Skyridge's offense is going to score a lot of points. They're going to score 41 points on you if you don't slow them down.
Skyridge wins 41-15. Our next Game Night Live game of the week is a mystery. We got Flex Week next week. We're going to surprise you on Sunday. We'll announce our Game Night Live game of the week on Sunday. We're considering some good ones. If there's a game you think we should go to next week, get on KSL Sports on social media and let us know where we should go between now and then. We'll announce the game Sunday. Until then, for Matt Glade, Mary Liz Cook, and our entire Game Night Live crew, thanks for watching. We'll see you next Friday.